From Koreatown, Los Angeles, thank you for tuning in to Ktown Social Club. This is where the world gathers to talk about the issues that affect us all. The only show you'll find that offers perspectives from the far left to the far right. Remember to like this video, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. Follow us on Instagram at Ktown Social Club. I'm Michael Kim, joined by Michael Wan and Ed Choi.
Ed Choi.
Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on Ktown Social Club.
You missed one friend, Rocco 1540.
Oh, yeah, Rocco 1540.
The robot.
Yeah. Doug is a regular, but he's not here today because...
he's taking care of his dad?
Yeah, or I don't know. He's with his family.
Yeah, New York.
All right, and today what we're going to talk about is we got a bunch of things that we're going to go over, and, we're going to go into... whether China is funding marijuana farms in the U.S. Is China going to collapse any day now? About the Chinese debt trap in Africa. Is there a conspiracy about China and OnlyFans put out by
Tim
Pool?
Half Korean dude.
A half Korean dude. Then we're going to talk more about Israel, like why Israelis cannot stop spitting on and abusing Christians while Christians keep simping for Israel. We're also going to talk about, did Candace Owens talked about, did Israelis know about 9/11 in advance? Was Jeffrey Epstein a Mossad agent? We're going to talk about Julian Assange and his controversial leaks. We're going to talk about the FBI raid on Oakland Mayor Shang Tao's home, about donations laundered through sex trafficking. U.S. police kill again, this time a 13-year-old Asian boy going home from Bible study. Pride parades, are they going out of control now? U.S. Congressman Thomas Massey, who talked about AIPAC babysitters, how everyone in Congress has a babysitter. His wife has just died. The Biden and Trump debate reaction. Japan protesting the U.S. military after another U.S. soldier rapes a 14-year-old girl in Okinawa. Will Philippines become another Ukraine? El Salvador's prisoners must work for food. Did North Korea execute a K-pop listener? And Jay Park joins OnlyFans. And also,
Jay Park.
Did Koreans learn about fried chicken through black soldiers in the U.S., or is that a myth? So we'll get into all that. So, yeah, why don't we start with the Chinese-funded and staffed marijuana farms springing up across the U.S. What do you guys think about this?
Tim Pool talked about this today?
No, this is not Tim Pool.
Okay. All right.
What do you think?
I got to read more into it.
Okay.
Marijuana thing. Yeah.
So it says here, inside the Chinese-funded and staffed marijuana farms springing up across the U.S. Now...
it's always Asians writing these articles,
yeah,
right?
Emily Feng wrote this.
She's Chinese.
She might say Taiwanese or whatever.
Yeah, fair.
That's
fair.
Okay.
That's fair.
She's very... I'm sure Doug will have a lot to say about her.
But usually the anti-Asian or Asian country-related articles, you can see a lot of those articles are written by Asian journalists.
Yeah, because I feel like it's not even that they are volunteering for it.
They're assigned to
They're
right?
assigned it, right?
Because it's not a racist thing if an Asian
supposedly
so
face is Asian.
She's an international correspondent for NPR. She joined in 2019.
China.
She
Taiwan.
was chosen by Boston University for some Reporting Asia Award for
Daniel
exhibiting
Shore.
the highest standards of international journalism in a series of reports on matters of importance specific to Asia. Anyway, she's a very good reporter, journalist. So let's see. Chinese-funded and staffed marijuana farms spring up across the U.S. What do you think this means?
They're being smart business-wise.
Now, is this the government, or what do you think?
I mean, even if it's not the government, the media loves to always portray like China is a massive mindless people, and they're just all government drones. So,
Right, but
Douglas would say probably this might be fake news too, right? Because
well, we saw a response to this article in a tweet. It says, "This is typical." The lead title: China funding marijuana farms in the U.S. But deep in the article, we actually found, quote, found no signs of Chinese state or Asian organized crime involvement, just small-scale individual investors from China. And by the way, we legalized marijuana in those states. And meanwhile, everyone on X spreading this article around without even reading it, screaming that China is maliciously trying to get America stoned. The only maliciousness here is by those media who always try to equate the actions of a few individuals with China. Just as ridiculous as if you had a couple of Americans opening up weed shops in Amsterdam and the media running stories around how America wants to poison the Dutch.
Called it.
What do you think? I mean, you know, if it was, I'm sure there's a bunch of investors from all over the world doing stuff about weed. Why do we care about the Chinese ones?
Because we, as a country, love to vilify China.
And Americans see China as a threat. Like GDP-wise, I think I already talked about
That's
it.
the
America's
main reason.
number one with 25% of the world GDP. China is catching up really fast with 18%. And I think there's a possibility that they might
statistically, it's gonna happen.
Because even within China, the way they do business is they first manufactured a lot of iPhones, right? But now what's their largest cell phone company? I forgot. Is it Huawei?
In China?
So, in China.
In China
and now they're making their government employees to not buy iPhone or other foreign gadgets. So I think they see China as a threat. China is catching up, and they've been winning a lot economically. I mean, there's no question regarding that. And America has not been doing well in recent years. So,
who is China a threat to? You think
the U.S.
Well,
American people,
China.
No.
I think America's always good at making a certain, like even during the Cold War, we had Soviet Union, and now it used to be like Japan too, right? In the 90s. It was Japan, 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
It was Japan.
Right when their car boom happened.
Yes, exactly. And
they were vilified.
They were vilified as well.
Yeah, that's how we lost Vincent Chin.
And there was a lot of Asian hate crime that was happening in Detroit, Michigan too. And I think China is now became that, there's this empty seat, and they switch around. It was Soviet Union, Japan,
But so who is China a threat to then? Like specifically America, but who in America?
No, the leaders, the people who own the top the companies. And it's like the same thing with Trump, right? Trump acts like he's like so anti-China, but then like all of his campaign stuff was made in China. So it's like they put out this like public persona that like, oh, China's evil, but then for them, they'll do something different behind closed doors. So it's like, it's obvious that it's some sort of,
So it could be a political capital, right?
Right.
I mean, even though, you need somebody, and you need this common enemy to get approval rating, what have you. And
nothing brings people together than hatred.
And I think, sadly, that is true.
Yeah,
and I think
it's
if
true.
you make a common enemy out of China,
conspiracies and hatred brings people together, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
so this is propaganda, huh? NPR putting out propaganda.
NPR is a governmental
I think they
clickbaited
clickbaited it. You know what I mean? They wrote a clickbait article title.
It makes you click, especially people who are interested in.
I mean, because most people are not going to read the article, right?
They never do.
They're just going to be like, "Oh, those fucking Chinese."
They never.
You do on your on your Instagram.
The amount of times you see posts and then you see the comments under it, and people are like complaining, and you're like, "You did not even read the article."
I mean, because by this time we already know when it's about China, and immediately you look at the byline, and it's usually Asian writers.
Yeah.
Like Kim M on NBC.
Actually,
it is
propaganda.
You kind of already know where it's going.
Yeah, but it is propaganda, because I was about to be like, it must have been like a slow news day. Like people love to say that, but it hasn't been. So for them to come out with this, what was the reason?
I think back in the day, it used to be Soviet Union, I would think, right?
Easily.
Russia.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a hacking thing, it's Russia. And now it seems to be China.
Yeah, so I don't see articles about, say, Albanians or Nicaraguans or whomever who may be investing. Why do we care about the Chinese who are investing? So NPR is putting out anti-China propaganda. This may be part of the annual $500 million budget to put out anti-China news. So all of our viewers and listeners out there, be very careful when you read stuff that tries to paint China in a bad light, because, I mean, it's not like all these hate crimes against Asians came out of nowhere. This kind of stuff contributes to it. And, Koreans often, they'll say something like, well, those fucking Chinese, or, they'll be like, well, I'm not Chinese. And it's like, no, we should all kind of unite against this kind of bullshit.
In this country, we're the same.
Racists don't care if we're Korean or whatever. No, we're all Chinese to them. We're all fucking Chinks to them, and they're going to attack all of us. So
it's wild that that's an 8-minute read. It was an 8-minute read to write an article about how that's not true. That's crazy.
It's an 8-minute propaganda piece put out by this
Emily
propagandist who is an award-winning journalist. I mean, come on. What are you doing, lady?
But she's based in Beijing, does it say? She was based in Beijing. She covered a broad range of topics. You know, I don't think she picks the stories. I think her editor picks the stories and tell her to write about it. So, you know, she gets paycheck, you know, and... You know,
Yeah,
but I think we do see these kind of articles.
I mean, Joe Biden gets a paycheck too, right? You know, he's supposed to do what he's supposed to do, right?
True.
So anyway, let's move on from that.
Do you think that happens more often in election years? These kind of articles?
No, this has been going on for years.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, now let's go to the next story. Tim Pool.
Yeah.
He's like a conservative commentator, right?
You
He's
know,
like a YouTuber.
I think he started off as a progressive.
Really?
He started covering Black Lives. No. What was that? The Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street.
Occupy Wall Street. So he kind of got prominent during that time,
Like
and then
being for it.
I think that's where he started.
He
That's
first
where it
became known for live streaming in
And
2011.
He was a skateboarder, a famous skateboarder. I think he also does music too. And then after he followed them, he found out there's a lot of BS going on in the Occupy Wall Street movement. And then I think somehow he started being a little bit more like a libertarian. And I think now he's a conservative, but he doesn't sound like your regular.
Wait, what kind of
conservative.
BS during Occupy Wall Street?
That's what he said in one of his interviews. But he got into detail. I don't exactly remember it. But Tim Pool, I didn't even know that much about him until who came out. Somebody came to his show. Kanye West went to his show and he left in the middle of the interview. And I think that's when.
Anyway, he's a half Korean guy.
His mom is a Korean, yeah.
He's, according to this tweet here, it says, Tim Cast, Tim Pool, thinks China
He's
is
famous
turning...
too, this dude.
Okay. He says, thinks China is turning American women into degenerates by making them quit their jobs to do OnlyFans to damage the U.S. economy. Now, his reasoning is because that's what he would do if to China... That's what he would do if he were in charge of U.S. Cyber Command.
Let's hear him.
So let's hear this.
He's gone off like the deep end.
She ended up losing money because nobody was actually subscribing to her, and she was sold this false reality by the 1%er saying, go on OnlyFans, you'll make a ton of money, it's worth it. And she ended up selling just her body to these men and not actually being able to afford a living. And now she's like, just
I think it's
desk job.
I think it's China. Yeah, I think if I was working in cyber command of the U.S., I'd be like, we want to get as many of our adversaries' women quitting their jobs and being degenerates because it will depress their economy, it will slow growth, and it will distract and steal resources from men. The women producing sexual content will not be adding anything substantive to the economy. So that means you are shifting production towards something that can't benefit them in the long run, and it will build bad behaviors. It will depress their fertility rates. It is the best psychological attack on a nation.
You're exactly right, because the fentanyl crisis is coming straight from China.
Imagine if, you know what I mean?
Okay, so there's the genius Tim Pool with his theory. What do you think of that, Michael?
I don't know, man. I have that's kind of.
That's the
I don't think
craziest
Tim
thing.
Pool even talks a lot about China before. I don't listen to him that much, but.
But what do you think of that statement? Is that ridiculous, or you think it's
I
possible?
think so. I think Douglas and you mentioned about it regarding China. So most of the news that we talk about, Douglas says it's all fake news. It's fed by CIA. That's pretty much. So
Wouldn't
I guess
it be funny
if
if Douglas was the plant?
Yeah.
So if you put it in that perspective, probably it might be, with the Operation Mockingbird, with all the journalists. I don't know whether I do believe that Operation Mockingbird is still going on. Not sure whether they're. I would think probably they put a lot of anti-China information to us. So I don't think because the things that you and Doug talk about related to China. I don't know, Ed, but it's hard for me to find those. A little bit more pro-China news and stuff. Whether you Google it or Bing it, it's very difficult to find the pro-China articles.
Yeah.
It really is.
You
in
mean
English.
it's difficult to find articles that are not anti-China?
Exactly. Even within South Korea, I told you, there's a lot of anti-China sentiment.
Easy.
It used to be very pro-China.
How long ago?
But when I was there, people love China more than
Really?
America. Yeah, it was. And then for a while, but after the, what do you call it, the micro dust? issue, the misemonji issue, that kind of really turned a lot of people off. It said, because of the, you immediately feel that, right?
Yeah,
The environmental impact.
But that was always there, wasn't it?
Hangsan, no. It was
wasn't always
before the China, when China really
Like
boom,
industrialized?
industrialized. That's
industry
when happened.
took
But
off.
before that, people loved China, and even my parents, they said their most favorite country is China. You would say though, you would hear this all the
Sounds
time.
like it's more of an inferiority complex that they used certain things to be hateful for.
Because I see because I was meeting my friends and we saw like the sky being just completely covered by smoke,
dust.
like yellow dust, and then they would just blurt out, this is because of China, So it wasn't before like this though. So I think that it's more of an environmental thing.
So the reason why Koreans don't like China is because of the environmental
I think mainly
reasons.
it
has nothing to do with
started off
politics.
I think politics comes next after that, but the environmental thing was really huge.
Okay, so what do you think about what Tim said?
So it is true, so when Douglas talks about some of the information regarding China and all that, I told him even privately, hey man, I don't even know those information. Where do you get it? And he said, I'll give it to you, those data and books. So probably when you read those books, the books that he reads, like about communism and stuff.
Yeah, but
probably, unless you go there, it's very difficult to see that point
No,
of view.
he also has some sort of honeypot somewhere because he also gets recent news very quickly.
Yeah.
you ever think of looking at Chinese news websites?
Yeah, there's China Daily. I know. China Daily is one of them.
Xinhua, there's more. It's not that hard to find.
But Xinhua,
pretty
does
easy.
it have English version? I don't know.
I mean,
Xinhua-
Google translates
Why don't
too.
you Google it?
But
It's
the
all in
pro-
English.
But,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is, but
CG, I mean, they're all
Yeah.
in English. What's so hard to find?
No. I know, like Douglas and you, people who are interested in Chinese news, they would always update it. But we're bombarded with domestic news, all sorts of news here and news in Korea. So China is okay economy-wise, business-wise. We keep up about their.
So you have no
GDP
opinion
rate.
about what Tim Pool said, right?
Tim
No, I
Pool's
think
crazy.
Tim Pool has completely probably
He's
brainwashed
lost
on that
it.
one.
Yeah, he has.
Did you know
lost
Tim Pool
it.
beforehand?
Not really. I
Okay.
know of him, but I don't really.
And the
pay
thing is,
attention.
he's half Asian, and he's saying this kind of nonsense too. Well, what if his mother gets attacked? What's he gonna say then?
When he says that, so a lot of conservatives, when they talk about China, they don't equate that to Asians. They kind of equate that to like the former U.S.
Yeah,
like,
well, that's
say,
how
like
they
US,
justify
like
it in
Soviet
their
Union.
head.
That's
Yeah.
how it is, I think.
Well, it's because they dehumanize them.
Yeah, because I think they see China as a rival. They see,
Right.
and
usually
they
with-
see it as a national thing, not
Right,
a
but if you
racial thing. I
Look
think.
at someone as a rival. Oftentimes, people have a tendency to dehumanize
So
them.
why,
They're no longer.
was
Yeah,
Japan
yeah.
attacked in the 80s? If it has nothing to do with like politics or whatever.
Because Japan was killing it in the economy.
Right, so anybody that does better-
they bought like what was Columbia Pictures. Sony bought Columbia Pictures
Okay.
back then.
Oh,
and,
right.
and they were taking over the banks. And I
Okay.
think, yeah,
Right. Anyway, we can all agree Tim Pool is being a.
Crazy person.
I think in this one he's like
being a conspiracy- no, he's
misinformed.
being
He
like
doesn't
a-
know those. Yeah.
It's being a conspiracy. It's
He thinks
conspiracist.
there's people in the Chinese government saying, "Let's make American women do OnlyFans and quit their jobs," like as
Yeah.
if,
Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
as if it's
You
not
know-
American women doing that because it's many of them see that as a better alternative to slaving away and barely.
I think he does
surviving.
clickbait. I think Tim Pool does clickbait.
So he's
he
not
does-
he's not
he
a
does like
journalist.
2 to 3 hours. He's not. He called himself a citizen journalist, but because he was going on. But I think he talks like 2 to 3 hours a day, so he has to say these kind of crazy
he's
things
full of
to,
himself.
to get some clicks
Okay.
and stuff.
All right, now let's go into our next thing. We're going to talk about the collapse of China. We've been hearing about the collapse of China for decades now. Gordon Chang, I think, wrote a book around 2000,
Gordon
2001.
Chang is a known anti-China.
Yeah,
figure, though.
he's half, right?
He's half China.
Gordon Guthrie Chang. He wrote a book, I think, in 2001 called The Coming Collapse of China or something. Anyway, on Twitter, there's this Shanghai panda. They are enough to build a skyscraper called China Collapse. So in 1990, The Economist said China's economy has come to a halt.
Yeah, they've been saying
96,
right.
China's economy, hard landing. 98, sluggish growth. 99, hard landing. 2000, hard landing, risk coffin. Hard landing. What is this? Now 2002, seeks a soft economic landing. 2003, how to find a soft landing. 2004, the Great Fall. 2005, hard landing. 2006, soft landing. 2007, hard landing. 2008, hard landing.
Soft
Hard
landing, hard
landing.
landing.
Hard landing.
Zero hedge. Hard landing.
2012, dismal economic news. A hard landing.
2011
CNBC
just
hard
says
landing.
a Chinese.
I know. I think somebody forgot to It's 2015. Congratulations,
Hard
you got
landing.
yourself a Chinese.
So they've been hard landing for like decades, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard landing looms.
When is it
And then in
happening?
between, they have some kind of soft landing too.
2017
funny.
is China's economy going to crash? To 2020, the scary solution to the Chinese debt crisis. 2021, has China's downfall started? 2022, China's collapse is far worse than you think. Business Basics 2022, China's economic crisis, GDP is crashing, protests everywhere, China's financial crisis here. 2023, is this the end of China's economic growth?
Yeah,
2023, it's official, the era of China's global dominance is over.
So that's why when the
30
Evergrande, is it Evergrande, the real estate company?
Yeah.
Evergrande Real Estate, in the mainstream here in America, you see a lot of these news about Evergrande real estate company going down and stuff like that. But and I think Michael told me about it, that usually those news are all fake news regarding China. So it might be, I think, even that. So you think that's fake news too, right? Evergrande situation there in China.
What that
about
that,
the real estate
that
market
it happened?
collapsing?
I didn't say that.
No, collapsing. I mean, that it might. You can't just believe it at face value. I think that along that line. No.
No.
Okay, I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't believe that that's going to cause the collapse of the Chinese economy.
But I think a lot of business experts were kind of saying that. So
experts,
yeah.
quote unquote
Supposedly,
experts,
supposedly,
With
yeah.
narratives.
the same experts who have been, wrong about China for the past 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
Or even 50, 60, 70 years. Anyway, so what have we seen, though? China's only getting better and better, right? So is China... Even recently, I saw comments, maybe even on one of our own videos, or Culture Shock, saying, hey, China's coming to an end soon. I mean, does that person know something we don't know? It was on one of our channels.
Okay.
So what do you think? Is that really going to happen,
No,
or is this more?
I think China's doing well. Yeah.
I mean, here's Shanghai. Yeah, they look like they're about to collapse. Compare 1990 to today.
But when you look at this,
Isn't one of the regions in
look at that,
Shanghai
it's
like one of the
beautiful.
most expensive cities in the world?
Shanghai?
Yeah.
I would think so. Yeah.
Or let's look at
But when we
what's
look at
another
that,
one?
how
Shenzhen?
come the communism is working fine here in China but not in North Korea? It would be great if North Korea would develop that much too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, but North Korea is still at war, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's-
They're still
supposedly
isolated.
armistice. Yeah.
Yeah, why are they still at war? Why isn't there a peace treaty? I wonder about that. They said they want one. Is there someone who doesn't want peace? Someone wants to maintain their military bases in the peninsula to go after some other country, perhaps?
Well,
use Korea as a
wants
proxy,
to pull out, I think. So
perhaps?
who knows? Yeah. Well, it's world
Is it really
politics.
about North Korea, or is there some bigger country?
But China's
the target.
Yeah, but when you look at China, the economic development is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So, anyway, China's not going to collapse anytime soon. I think we can all agree on that. And, Doug would say China's going to lead the future. I think there's a good chance of that. I don't think the U.S. going in the direction that it has been going, especially with the, the killing of citizens by police, including a 13-year-old boy the other day. And later we're going to go into the Pride Parade. There's some crazy shit going on there.
Pride parade.
Really, do you know what I'm talking
Like
about?
demented stuff, right?
Really ridiculous.
I saw a lot of.
And there was
Wait,
an Asian
where?
twink in San Francisco.
Oh.
So there was like a kink area, and there's this old white man in like a rubber or plastic tub, and another dude was urinating on him and then getting a BJ from him, and then there's an Asian twink there just standing there watching, and then this. Anyway, this is the kind of stuff going on at the parade. So you remember a few weeks ago we talked about how gay people fine, but don't go around like with a gag ball with a choker and whipping each other wearing tight leather pants. This is even worse. Now they're blowing each other and urinating on each other in public. So we'll get into that later.
You're talking about degradation of society in America, right?
Yeah, and Tim Pool's going to say that China did that, I guess. But anyway, so China's not going to collapse. And then on to our last thing for China today. People think that China might be a threat to the world, global threat or something.
You think China can be more of a friend to America and we can kind of coexist in a good way? Like harmonic.
Yeah, once
Harmonially.
the rulers of this
Harmony.
country can let go of their power, because I don't want to go to war with China. I'd rather us do business together. I mean, they have 1.4 billion people there. Why would we want to have war with them? I'd rather, have a business and sell my shit to China rather than fight with them. What's the point? It's ridiculous.
They're
I mean-
five times bigger than we are.
Yeah, American people also need to realize we're way better. If China gets very rich, that's not bad for us. They have more money to buy our stuff. So and a lot of them still like American products. So why are we trying to?
America doesn't even manufacture those these days, right? So I don't
but
know.
we have
What can we offer that China
tourism, entertainment, wine. I don't know,
Even
cheese, beef, whatever.
Even entertainment, I think there's a lot of Chinese money already in Hollywood at this point. You see it from
especially
the
during the pandemic. You saw it.
Yeah.
There were so many movies that were being
like Mission Impossible too. I think they got
Yeah.
Chinese money involved there too.
Anyway, let's go on to this. People worried about China being a threat.
Where can people get correct information regarding China other than China Daily? And there's not a lot. Even it's Ed. Do you read a lot of China-related articles?
I don't seek out
right?
Chinese news, but
that's
I
what
do
think to most
read
people
some. Yeah.
I wouldn't
China
say not necessarily correct info, but at least alternative info.
Yeah, alternative info.
Because where do we get our news from China from? We get it from NPR,
New York
Fox,
Times.
CNN, New York Times.
yeah.
Washington Post.
They're all American, right?
No, I don't read those.
So go to some Chinese news companies and get it from them. I mean, let's Google right here.
China
Chinese
Daily.
news.
I think China Daily is probably the biggest one because LA Times, when you deliver it, China Daily does come with it. So
Yeah, here's Xinhua, China Daily, Global Times, CGTN. I mean, it's a quick Google search. It's not hard to find. It's very easy.
yeah. I think most people they're not that interested in China. I guess.
Yeah,
they seem to have.
bash them.
they
I
have-
do subscribe to one of them. Yeah.
Yeah, China Daily, I would go. Because we got it delivered with LA Times because LA Times had it in one of their.
I see.
All right, now here's the last thing about China we're going to do today. This is a tweet. It's talking about since the 1980s, the wars of the U.S. and the wars of China since the 1980s. Now, I think the last military conflict China had was, I think, in like the late 70s with Vietnam.
Yeah.
It was pretty short, though, I think. But since then, this graphic came up. This guy we covered it. We showed him last time, remember?
Jason Smith.
Black shirt
Oh,
with
God.
a pink tie.
Yeah.
Anyway, this time he put up a tweet. It says, U.S. presidents and their wars. Ronald Reagan, Gulf of Sidra encounter, Lebanon, Grenada, Libya, I don't know what some of these are. George H.W. Bush, Panama, Gulf War, Somali intervention, Bosnian, Bill Clinton, Haiti, Kosovo, Infinite Reach. I don't remember what. I remember hearing about it. What is
Not a
Infinite
single
Reach?
one of those were our wars either. Not that there's technically anything wrong with that, but
Yeah, look at
Like, you should
Obama.
definitely
Look at
help people.
Obama. That list is pretty long too. George W. Bush.
Well, there shouldn't be anything on there.
well, I mean, we go to war and fight other people's wars under the guise that we're helping them, which whatever. But it's because making
Yeah.
weapons of mass destruction is our business. It helps our economy.
Yeah. But even, what did Trump do? Okay, more U.S. troops in Iraq. U.S. troops occupy northern... I remember he bragged about U.S. troops occupying Syria and taking their oil.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that, man?
I don't know.
That's
man.
fucked up. It wasn't enough that they were already going through war for so long, and then Trump's bragging about putting troops there and stealing their oil. Anyway, and then Biden. I love the picture they used for Biden. Oh, God.
He's always looking somewhere far.
Yeah. And then Chinese presidents. I didn't even know a lot of these. Like, where's Deng Xiaoping? Anyway, Jiang Zemin, Hu Jintao, Xi Jinping. I remember these guys.
No wars.
No wars. So, that was a thing that some people say, like, when China finally gets really big and powerful, then they're going to, like,
Yeah.
start shit up. But one Chinese investment banker by the name of Eric X. Lee, he said, hey, man, look at China today and look how we've grown already. And we became this big, this top dog, this behemoth already peacefully. And it's faster than the growth of any other empire, like British Empire, Ottoman Empire, American Empire. Bigger and faster than them all, and it was done peacefully without firing shots. So what makes you think we're going to do that once we do get really big.
Yeah, I think that's used propaganda.
You know,
Yeah.
he says
Yeah.
peaceful rise has been the fact already. So, anyway,
I think America's it's their specialty, right? Making a common enemy and
Yeah.
use it, to its full extent. It's
Also, a lot of times stuff people say is either like a confession or a projection. And I feel like because we do that as a country, we project it onto others, like, oh, if we're capable of it, everyone's capable of it.
yeah. Okay. And then real quick, I forgot to do this. We hear what other negative news do we hear about China is like China puts African countries into like a debt trap so that they can take over or whatever.
I heard about it, yeah.
So, and this is something I heard from a former Liberia. I think he was the public works minister of Liberia. He gave a lecture about this once, but this graph pretty much says what the guy was saying. So you would think that China is like lending so much money to Africa and put them in a trap so that they can take over their resources and everything. But if you look here, African government's external debt is owed to, it's only 12% Chinese.
Lenders. Western
is 35%.
3 times, yeah.
So why are these Western nations going crazy
when you
about what
put-
China's doing?
To deflect.
And when you say multilateral institutions, what does that mean? I think that's also Western too, right? Sounds Western.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So FYI, an average interest rate on loans for Africa from private lenders, 5%, Chinese lenders, 2.7%. So, and that was what the minister from Liberia said. He said that the Chinese were also willing to renegotiate loans like 87 times, whereas Western lenders, 0.
To make it more...
I remember the specific
affordable.
summary. He's like, so he said, what are we going to choose? 87 times versus none.
So they were being more considerate to African countries.
Right,
what they're
'cause
saying is.
Apparently what African nations would do is they would say like, hey, you know what? We've been doing this, but this is a fucked up deal. We should have never done this deal. And then Chinese say, okay, we understand. Let's work out something new. You do that with an American lender? Fuck you, pay me.
Yeah.
So the reason why, the reason why African nations turn to China is because China offers better terms.
Yeah.
So and for us in the West to be concerned about Africa, it's like what? They can't, even Africans say like, whoa, you think we can't make our own decisions?
So that would upset
We need you to protect us?
That would upset a lot of Western bankers, I would think. Right?
Yeah.
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 So, anyway, that was that. So I think we're done with China. And how was your weekend, by the way, guys? Let's take a little break. How was your weekend?
Yeah. Weekend was good.
It was good.
Yeah.
You
No, it
do
wasn't.
anything fun?
Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie.
No?
I had the flu. I was like getting over
yeah.
the flu. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just.
So what'd you do? You ate chicken soup or what?
No.
Pho?
One of the days I didn't even eat anything because I was like, I'm dying. And then,
It's not COVID, is it?
no, it's not.
Did you get tested?
Yes, I took a test. I took a test.
Michael here, he
Twice.
never got COVID.
Neither have I.
Oh, you never did?
No.
Maybe we did, and we were like asymptomatic. Because when I got vaccinated, nothing happened. Like I didn't get the chills.
Oh,
or
you didn't
whatever.
get it? You didn't
Oh,
feel
I
anything?
did.
You
To me, it was like nothing. It was just like my arm hurt.
Oh, my
okay.
arm really hurt. But then it was either the first or second one where I did get chills. I was like, I wasn't sick, but I was like, my body felt like shit.
Wow.
Did you get the booster one?
Yeah.
I never got the booster. How'd you react to the booster?
Nothing.
Nothing.
It was
So the
fine.
second
And my
one
arm
was
hurt,
tough.
but it was fine.
The second one was tough.
I think I even got a 4th.
Wow. Huh? Okay.
My mom yells at me. She's like, "Go get vaccinated." I'm like, "Okay."
How many?
Also, I have this like weird superhuman strength, power, sense of smell. It's like I'm terrified if I get COVID, I'm gonna lose it. I'm like, it's my only superpower.
Yeah. Oh, your sense of smell, right?
Yeah.
How about you, Michael? What'd you do?
Weekend, I just tried by around like Pasadena.
That sounds creepy.
know. No, because I
I'm
wanted
just
to.
kidding,
I
I'm
was
just
thinking about going hunting the library, but I decided not to. It was just too.
Oh, you mean
hot
for
and-
the garden?
the garden? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The
I've
garden.
been meaning to go to Pasadena because I want to really eat the Panda Express burrito at the Panda Express in Pasadena.
They don't have Panda Express burrito in other places. Only
No,
the one
so
in Pasadena.
the one in
I didn't-
Pasadena, there's one that's like a Pasadena or a Panda Express innovation kitchen. So they like make stuff that like other places
they have
don't
an innovation
have. Yeah,
kitchen.
yeah.
I didn't
and
know
one
that.
of the things they make is a burrito.
Oh, okay.
I really want it.
So they make some specialties.
No. It's still the same stuff. You just get like orange chicken, like lo mein and stuff. It's just like get it in a burrito.
Right.
Okay.
So what did you end up doing?
No, I just ate. We went to Baskin Robbins and I ate ice cream there.
Let me guess what flavor you got. You're,
Vanilla.
No.
No,
you are a vanilla guy.
I just keep it simple.
Says a lot.
What did you throw?
Jeez.
Says a lot. Oh, man, come on.
Jeez.
He's so anti-white that he would just say that,
No.
What
that's
if I
not
said
that-
strawberry?
That's not what I
Busting his
meant.
balls.
That's
so
not what I
hard.
meant.
That's not what I meant. I meant like you're busting his balls hard.
No, what?
No, he's busting your balls really hard.
I know.
What does vanilla
I
mean?
noticed
It
it.
means you're.
Okay, what do you think it means? Because maybe I have a different meaning than you.
You know, you like the simple stuff.
Yeah, that's what it means.
Nothing. I was just kidding.
Okay.
I was just joking.
You thought strawberry?
No, I was gonna think something weird like Rocky Road or something.
I don't.
No, he does
those
not
things
look like
are,
he's like
yeah.
super
How did you
sweet.
know that, man?
Yeah, I can tell.
No, I think
Well,
I don't
vanilla
like,
is the
odd-
most popular flavor.
It is. It is.
It's the most safest.
That's
you know,
the word
it's
I was looking for.
safest.
Okay, actually, yeah,
Vanilla,
that is.
And then because I don't like ice cream that much because I have
Safe.
Yeah, safe is the word I was
no
looking for.
because ice cream sometimes it gives me like indigestion. So
Oh,
so
you're lactose
I,
intolerant.
yeah, I
You
am,
should take
I am.
lactase.
Lactase?
Yeah, because like the reason we're lactose intolerant is because we don't produce lactase.
Yeah, I heard.
So if you
if we take it, it's better.
it's better.
I didn't know that they even
Yeah,
sell.
yeah.
They
Oh,
even
yeah,
sell
yeah.
those. Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Costco
that's-
has like a big bundle.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know that. Yeah. So that's why I try to avoid usually
Oh, yeah.
eating ice cream. But that day was freaking hot over there in
Oh my
Pasadena.
God.
It went all the way up to like 93, 94 degrees.
In fact, it was so hot that this lady went hiking in San Diego with like a group of 150 people, and she got lost and died.
Damn.
Yeah.
Half the group split and turned around because it was 90 degrees, and they were like, it's too hot. And half the group continued to the summit, and they made it. And then on the trek down, she somehow got separated.
Right.
Somehow ended up like miles away from where the trail was, and then she passed away a quarter of a mile from a busy road in a neighborhood.
Wow.
Like, she was so close.
Quarter mile. That's only like a 5-minute walk.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's so close, and it was a downhill. So like,
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, that's what I hear a lot of times is people will make the summit, but you got to worry on the way down. Like especially in Everest, a lot of the deaths happen on the way down.
Because the thing is like in 90-degree weather, if you just walk around outside, you're walking also under like trees and stuff, so you get shade. But when you're hiking up a
Yeah.
mountain,
Then you don't
there's
have any
no
shade.
there's no
exactly.
shade.
Yeah,
Was
so-
she Asian?
Yeah,
Korean.
no, she was. I don't remember actually.
And she just passed away.
Yeah. It was like a fundraiser hike created by Build a School Foundation, which like focuses on building schools in like Vietnam and stuff.
Right.
Maybe she was Vietnamese actually.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
All
but
right.
I mean, if you go to those, I got exhausted afterwards. Because it's so hot. I was walking.
yeah.
It just. Yeah.
So the ice cream cooled you down.
It did, but yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I didn't know. So they sell at lactose. Lactase. What do you call it?
Lactase,
Lactase.
yeah.
Okay. Good. That's a good hint.
All right, now let's move on to
All right.
Israel. What bothers me a lot is how, I mean, the state of Israel I see is just acting in such an evil manner. And it does it with the full support of the United States of America. There is an image that I saw on Twitter, which we can't really show here.
This one.
No. But it showed, it was after the debates, and how it showed Biden, it was an image of like Biden and Trump when it comes to Israel or something, and it just showed Biden and Trump banging each other. Like, they can't stop effing each other over like how much they support Israel.
Yeah,
like that's where they unite.
Yeah.
You're saying that they're competing each other to
Yeah,
be
like
more
who's
who's more pro-Israel?
I'm more
I got it.
pro-Israel. No, I am. Like, can you imagine how this is going to be looked at in like 100 years from now? Like history in 100 years, they're going to look back to this time. Like, remember when the rest of the world was saying one thing, but the American presidential candidates were arguing about who supports that more. It's crazy.
And I think that flows into South Korean culture, because a lot of South Koreans consider being like the second kind of Jews. You heard about it, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of consider that as a praise and stuff, because I think that came from the American culture, flowing down. So I don't think they would most of them don't even know about it until they come here and then see how many people have some different thoughts about it.
So let's watch this video. This is a Christian father walking with his son, and he gets spit on by Zionists, and then they even mace him.
Where is this?
Shit.
Probably
this doesn't look
Jerusalem.
like America.
So
or
those are Christian dad and son, right?
Somewhere in Israel or occupied Palestine. So you see this guy.
He's a Christian.
That's the Zionist right there. That's the Christian man with his son.
How do they know he's Christian?
Maybe he's wearing a cross or...
Oh, man.
Where do they mace him?
Did they,
like right
they
there.
throw him
Right
something?
there. Okay. So there's one example. Let me show you another example. Israeli settlers, so this must be in the West Bank. Oh, occupied Jerusalem. Israeli settlers spit in the path of Christian worshippers. We rarely see Christians around the world speak out against the Zionists and the way they oppress their fellow Christian in Palestine. Why is that the case? So here these are Asian Christians. They might be Korean.
Could be.
Because Koreans are so,
pro-Israel.
I hear Koreans make up the #1 missionaries after Americans.
Really?
Possible. It's
Yeah.
possible.
Internationally.
Jesus.
I mean, you see the number of churches, right? But you see that? They're being spit on.
Where are they spitting?
What are they trying to do? The Jesus
the Jesus
path?
walk or
Yeah.
something?
They do that, yeah. There's a tour. Are they spitting?
Yeah, I mean, those kids even spat at them as they walked by earlier.
Oh, so. Yeah, I think Candace Owens, I don't know whether you watched it. Candace Owens did an interview with Jimmy Dore last weekend, and Candace Owens was raising the point that there has been 10 million Christians massacred by, I think, Bolsheviks. That's what she was talking about. And she was saying, why are we always just focused on Israel when there's she said she's a Christian, so we should care about Christian persecution rather than Israel being persecuted or what have you. So I think
that's why they push out all of the World War II movies. I think is to get sympathy. You know what I mean?
True.
But some of the Jewish people, because let's be honest, it's not all, but that Jewish versus Christian persecution has been going on it's been 2,000 years now, technically, because that's when that happened.
Yeah.
What? The killing of Christ?
Yeah. But I mean, even then, it was
but Jesus Christ is Jewish too, so.
Right. But that's what I mean. But that's what started it, right? And there's always been that.
So I think there's some Catholics and some people don't like Jews because of that fact. I never seen it that way because I think that was just a history. And he was supposed to be killed, Jesus, to fulfill.
That was the point.
Yeah. So I don't blame the Jews for that, but there are surprisingly a lot of people who blames Jews for killing.
Unfortunately, they don't have power, right?
So.
So now here's a Israeli kid spitting and attacking a Christian woman.
Wow.
This is how they're raised. They're even kicking her. Should I put the audio? They're throwing stuff at her.
So she seems like
pulling her hair, whatever they're doing.
She seems like a tour guide. She has a microphone, right?
You daughter of a bitch.
What is that, an Asian woman?
That Asian woman gets attacked later. I think she gets dragged down. Or is that a separate video where that happens?
Oh, yeah, looks like right there. Something's about to happen.
Christian is actually not recognized as an official religion in Israel.
Really?
No.
So why do they keep taking... Anyway. Look, I mean, this is normal behavior there. And another one. What is this? An Armenian Christian describing how they are treated by Zionists. We get spit on every day. Wearing a cross, you'll get spit on in this neighborhood. So... I mean...
It's not just the Jews, it's the Zionists. That's what it is, right?
What is this also? A Jewish Zionist breaking the back of a Christian woman preaching the gospel of Jesus.
Oh, so they preach. They go there and preach, right?
Yeah, but why the
Wow,
violence?
they just beat her down.
Like, is the violence necessary? I don't understand the
I
hatred.
don't understand it either.
It's not okay for other people to
But
believe
I
stuff.
think
That's like one day if I was like, my favorite color is blue, and if your favorite color is not blue, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So isn't this the same way as how they reacted when Candace Owens tweeted that Christ is king? Many Jews considered that being anti-Semitic. So,
Zionists or Jews?
No, she was when she got let go by.
No.
DOI.
I know that, but I'm saying the people that hated on her, because like I feel like there should be a distinction, right?
Okay, between
not all
Zionists.
Jews are Zionists.
But I think even if you, I don't know. I think a lot of them,
Like all groups have extremists in there, you know.
But I think most Israeli Jews are Zionists, right? Most Israelis
A lot.
Jews are Zionists. Most
But
of them are
don't
Zionists.
they like where is it? Tel Aviv. I heard that it's super liberal there, and they don't even believe in God, and they're like very secular, and LGBTQ movement is really strong there. They have like pride parade and stuff like that. So, but I don't know, like even Bill Maher and people who are supposedly non-religious, those people sound super pro-Israel these days. When you watch them on TV.
Anyway, this is the 6th Prime Minister of Israel, Menahem Begin. Said, our race is the master race. We are divine gods on this planet. In fact, compared to our race, other races are beasts and animals, cattle at best. That's how they see, what are we called? Goyim, or Gentiles. So what I get from this is, why...
Is it just him, though, or is it everybody? I'm wondering. Just.
We've seen it said by many, enough of them to know that this is how they think. A lot of them think. And the quotes that they've made about America, how they know that they're the ones who run America.
So your question is, why do Christians support Israel?
Why does America keep supporting Israel? We should
didn't,
stop.
Didn't we kind of conclude that it does come from money?
It's a laundering scheme.
The money.
It's a laundering scheme.
Which takes us into...
on our end.
By the way, this comes up to something that I think Ed brought up earlier.
Dr. Anastasia.
She is a former Israeli Minister of Education. Because this is not connected to the mic, and I don't want to lift the laptop. But I listened to this earlier, and she said, "We exploit the Holocaust and anti-Semitism to protect Israel from criticism. It's a trick we use." So they know what they're doing. They know what they're. I even started seeing Schindler's List being recommended to me on Amazon Prime Video, and I'm like, "What's going on? Did somebody make a call and like, hey, promote this again?" Just to remind people about the Holocaust.
Oh, right.
I was like, why is this showing up suddenly for me? And what else? Was Jeffrey Epstein a Mossad agent?
I think he was.
So is the reason why we support Israel is because Israel has so much shit on our leaders that our leaders can't help but to...
But if you say that, people would dismiss you as a conspiracy theorist, right? That's what they do, the mainstream media.
Oh, right? That was posted on the Daily Beast.
Jeffrey Epstein's ex says he boasted about being a Mossad agent. A new Jane Doe claims a sex trafficker boasted of his spy connections before violently raping her at his New York mansion.
And they really cover it up for him. CNN's Chris Cuomo, he did a video clip where he said, "Why are you guys all so interested in Epstein Island? What does that have to do with you?" Isn't that kind of funny, for him to, running cover for him? And
now this person says...
There's a lot of shadiness.
Let that sink in. An Israeli intelligence agent was facilitating mass rapes of American children to generate blackmail material against American politicians and businessmen. This is who Americans think is their greatest ally.
That APAC tracker.
But then wouldn't they be mad that we killed him?
Killed.
Oh, you're saying that he's killed.
Jeffrey Epstein, he did not kill himself.
Some people say that...
I guess if he was a massage...
maybe Mossad killed him.
He did kill himself.
I mean, okay, I agree with you. I think he's murdered. Somebody killed him, But there's also some conspiracy theories saying that there's somewhere around the world that he's alive and living. They pretended the whole system to
who
pretend
knows?
that he's dead. So.
It's possible. Yeah.
Because they don't know how he became a billionaire. They really don't know. There's no business magazines that really got into it. They don't know. He just became a billionaire.
Do we know about his parents? Were they weren't rich?
No, he wasn't rich from when he started, and he became a high school teacher too without a degree. He didn't have a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, but back then stuff like that was easy.
Was it?
You just write it on your resume. It was hard to check.
Probably he took advantage of it, and there's a lot of I think Alex Jones talks about that a lot, that there's a lot of Mossad agents here in the government, and I think InfoWars is probably getting kicked out because he's been hammering a lot of Israel stuff.
What I wonder though is when are all these? It seems like like even last week we had Sean Lee here, and he used words like terms like pro Hamas.
Yeah, I noticed.
And
that.
I asked him about that, and I forgot what his answer was, but like when are conservatives?
You think pro Hamas was a bad kind of way to say?
Well, because they don't want to acknowledge the state of Palestine.
I asked him. Oh yeah, does that mean pro-Palestinian or is it? Or what's the difference? And I don't think I even got a clear answer. I'm gonna have to go back and check. But
no, they don't want to acknowledge the state of Palestine, and then two, it's almost like a definitive line. All Palestinians are now pro-Hamas. So they're the enemy. That's how it comes off.
And then Israel, we just say Israel. We don't say
the IDF,
IDF or whatever. Mossad.
Right.
You're pro IDF. You're pro Mossad.
Right.
It's just pro Hamas or pro Israel.
So there has been some independent journalist who has been saying that it was actually the Israel government who has been sponsoring Hamas too. Did you hear about that too?
Yes. Yeah, I heard about that.
So I think there's some legitimacy there.
They created Hamas so that they'd have an excuse to bomb the fuck out of Gaza and take over more and more territory.
Like Bin Laden.
Something like that, yeah.
So my question then is, the conservatives who are against the deep state, why can't they see the biggest fucking deep state piece of the puzzle right in front of them? The biggest piece of the puzzle they fall for. Because
of mainstream media, right? Aren't they all Israel?
But these conservatives are supposed to know that the mainstream media is false. They're supposed to see through these lies. Why do they not see through the lie of the Israeli propaganda?
What I'm saying
Maybe they're profiting off of it.
Could be, and what I'm saying
I'm talking about everyday, regular conservative people. Why don't they see that?
It's like the Star Wars movie, the prequel, like Palpatine controlling both sides of the aisle. It seems the Jewish community controls both. I wouldn't say control, but has a lot of power over conservative media and also the liberal media. Among the conservative media, like Breitbart, I think that was created by a Jewish person, and also there's a lot of media, that alternative media, so-called alternative media. If you look at the money stream, like Daily Wire too. It's Jewish money.
Right. So is it possible then that even the concept of the deep state was first put out there by Zionists to say that let's create this alternative thing that conservatives can believe in and we'll still control that narrative, and as long as they're still pro-Israel? Is that possible?
It could be. Who knows?
Because, I would think these conservatives would be smarter, especially when they see Candace Owens and Alex Jones and whomever else coming out.
Owen Schroyer also came out and bashed. I think there's a lot of them who has been voicing their voice against Israel of what they're doing.
I mean, don't they feel ashamed that they're on the same side as a lot of these AIPAC?
They're trying to ostracize her too now, Candace Owens. They're trying to portray her like a conspiracy theorist.
We've seen that, but it's like, what's with these people who are still supporting Israel? They're ridiculous. I mean,
a lot of people also can't think for themselves. That happens. You know what I mean? There's a lot.
I mean, if there's some other angle for their support for Israel, like, I don't know what it is. Like,
I don't know why. Like, it doesn't benefit them. I mean,
if that's what you're saying. About red heifers, and there's like a religious angle. Fine, I can get that they might support Israel religiously, but beyond that, it's like, how can anyone support Israel?
I think Israel really did a good job of,
like Hitler
manipulating. I don't. It's even Hollywood. Look at all the movies. It's all pro-Israel, Jewish community. I don't.
Do you think that some of that's part of the reason for the propaganda against China? Is they're trying to distract from like, hey, don't look at Israel. Let's look at China.
Something like that. Look over here, not over there.
Yeah.
That's also the thing. Conservatives know that Hollywood is propaganda, is like liberal, whatever, and that they still fall for that Jewish stuff, the pro-Israeli stuff, the pro-Mossad stuff.
I don't know. I would say probably Israel, the country itself, if you read the Bible, some people decipher it as if we bless Israel, we get blessed, and Israel is the apple of the eye, and Israel it will be attacked by all over the place. So they believe along that line, So if it's the chosen country. A lot of Christians believe that, and I think that's one of the main reasons why.
So Christians believe that Israel's the chosen country, but Jews are still going to hell.
Yeah, if you really break down to it, yeah. You break it down, yeah.
But then are Christians okay with what's happening, like what Israel is doing? And
so there's a break. I think that's why I think people like Candace Owens and Alex Jones have been really heavily criticizing Israel ever since, what happened last year. And there's a lot, I think it's wrong too what Israel is doing right now.
Christians must reject Israel. The world must reject Israel.
I think the world is
They are
becoming
committing
that way.
great evil.
The world is. It's us. It's us.
Yeah.
Literally the U.S.
Even the movie Munich. Did you watch Munich?
No. I did.
Yeah, even that is very pro-Israel point of view of a movie, right?
It's about the Israeli athletes who were killed at the Olympics in Munich,
like
and then they got revenge, and
they
said, don't fuck with the Jews.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is it's very accessible, the pro-Israel, pro-Jewish point of view, but the pro-Palestine, the other side, you have to go out of your way, because you're not...
There is nothing pro-Palestine in the media.
It's not even easy
nothing
to find
in
those in the conservative media. So those are the things that you probably get from Twitter or Instagram or some other sources.
Yeah.
So that's why they're trying to shut down TikTok too, I think.
For 100%. I mean, as soon as they announced it, who offered to buy it?
Oh yeah, it was
Zionists. It was Zionists.
So anyway, we I don't support Israel. I don't think Ed does. Like Doug had a tweet recently. He just said, fuck Israel, fuck Israel, fuck Israel, fuck Israel, fuck Israel, fuck Israel. And that was it. And I thought, okay.
I agree with Doug sometimes.
One of your better tweets.
I wish that they took the 45-55 deal, Palestine back in the day.
Now, can you explain the 45-55 deal for our audience?
So Israel offered to give 45% of the land to Palestine, but I think the Arab nations, they all rejected that. They think that Israel shouldn't be there in the first place. So
you're saying Israel offered 45% of land that they already had?
Yeah, they already had. I mean, but I mean, even with that, Israel would say it's but convention wisdom is that they already had in a way. So I don't know.
Now I don't know. Like if Japan came to Korea and said, "We'll give you 45% of your land, let us take it,"
because their argument is there was not a nation called Palestine. So that is true, right? There
were Palestinian people there,
so
right?
And then from the late 1800s, there's like 5 wave of movements of Jewish people coming in.
Right.
Into Israel, to that land. So I think there's a lot of controversy behind this. I mean, but I think, okay, when you deal with
I feel like that's way more characters than your life.
I'm saying
premium.
if you want to save your people, and I'm saying that Israel is a powerful country you have U.S. behind them, United Kingdom behind them, pretty much all the U.S. allies behind them. If you are fighting against like a Goliath like that, now they don't have around 10%. Now they're fighting about 10% of land now. So I think I always feel, man, they should have took the 45% rather than fighting for this.
So you're saying they should have capitulated?
Yeah, I mean, and then go on from there, and then they can bicker about, hey, this territory is also mine, something like that. Start from there. But why do you have?
But we all know once you sign.
So you agree that Palestine does deserve a state. You just disagree with the way that they're.
The way they did it was kind of wrong. I would have took 45-55 and then go on from, hey, actually this land. You know what I mean? Make it a controversial issue.
I know what you mean. I don't agree with
land
you.
Actually own with me, because I think the casualty. If you look at the casualty. What's the number between Israel is like less than 2,000, right? Ever since October 7th. I think on the Palestinian side, what is it now, the number? They say that it's 35,000, 40,000, but I think it might be more than that.
Because Israel is so horrendous and murderous and evil, they should have taken a deal with the devil where they would have lost less land and lost less people.
Casualties. I think there's so many people losing their lives.
I know, but
of that,
So you're going on based on the results that more lives. But what about the principle? The principle is Israel is still wrong,
what I'm
right?
saying is 45-55. If you're gonna fight against it, you have Arab nations. You can make a debate from there. At that point on. But when
no,
you're
you can't because
10%,
once you sign a deal, it's final.
Is it really final in international relationships? I don't know.
That's what they would argue. That's what they would argue. You know what I mean?
And they could say, we were forced to sign it or something like that.
Also, I don't know that they were.
Narrative.
I also don't know that they were able to foresee that they were going to have a genocide committed against them.
Probably. I mean,
war,
it's sad
maybe.
all the way around. I think, it's really sad. I feel it's such a tragic scene when you see these Palestinian kids, being bombed. And,
but do you understand that Palestinians rejected that deal because they said, "Why? It's not yours to have in the first place."
Yeah, it's like if
Just
someone
because
like
the
invaded your
Rothschilds-
house and they were like, "I'll give you the
Arab
kitchen and your
nations,
bedroom."
were against it, but the funny thing is, when we talk about Israel, so Israel is not supposed to be there in the first place, right? Supposedly, right? They came out of the blue in 1948 because of the backing of the R family. I don't even want to talk about it because once you talk about their name, then either you're on the liberal side or the conservative side. Once you talk about the R family, you're getting into conspiracy territory. So then I think we can't solve the issue when we can't talk about the bankers who backed Israel to come back in 2,000 years, right? And we're just doing this merry-go-round. That's what I think.
All right, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would not have accepted that deal because it's wrong from the start.
Yeah, if someone broke into my house and was like, "I'm going to give you the bathroom and two bedrooms," I'd be like, "No." Right?
I mean, if that was the case, maybe Korea would only be.
No.
half
But then
now.
what if they were like, "Yeah, but like my grandparents used to live here." It's but then they sold it to me.
I think by the time of 1948, what
the
was the
same.
population difference between the Palestinians and Jews? Because there were a bunch of Jewish people there too by then, because there were a wave of Jewish people.
Yeah, they were invited. There were Palestinian families who opened their homes to Jews who were fleeing Hitler. And one of those cases, it was he's a famous LA developer or something. Anyway, he grew up in one of those families, and then the Jewish family that he saved, that his parents saved, after 1948, that Jewish family kicked them out.
So I think the conclusion is you think that
Fuck them,
the
man.
R family shouldn't have even concocted this
Fuck the
idea.
R family.
Then what? Then you're saying that Israel shouldn't have been there in the first place. Aren't you saying that?
There could have been, but what they did was wrong. If the R family could have done whatever they wanted to do.
How can they make that deal then? How can they start a nation without all the Arab nations were all against them from the get-go, right?
Well, I tell you don't do it by kicking a bunch of people out and taking their land and murdering them and calling them terrorists.
Well, it's a mess. I don't think this. I don't see any near end to this
I mean,
war.
should all the old nations of the past come back? Should,
that's what I'm saying. When you have these kind of system intact, how can you revert back to where it used to be? You can't. It happened, right?
Well, Israel did it,
accept
right?
Yeah.
Israel did it, so Palestinians can do it back.
Well, I mean, that remain to be seen.
Just because a bunch of Brooklyn Jews and people from Germany and wherever Russia decide they want to live in Israel now and kick Palestinians out doesn't mean they have a right to do that.
I told you there are some Koreans who think that we own all the way up to Chinese territory, Pare. There's some Koreans who believe that. So I think what I'm saying is that we can't revert to the past. And I don't know.
Israel did.
I don't see any. Yeah, Israel did in 2,000 years, but I don't see any simple solution.
We cut them off. Everyone has to cut Israel off.
But they control
the solution is stop supporting them.
So
stop
APAC.
giving them money.
So that means get rid of APAC, right? Pretty much.
APAC we have to be
one.
like the other countries that divested from Israel.
Yeah, it's
only this country is so.
We're the only country that is pro-Israel.
It was the only nation that.
Well, one of the few, very
Israel.
few.
Yeah, there's literally like 3 or 5.
So I think America is considering Israel like its 51st state. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Or some people say the U.S. belongs to Israel.
Yeah, I would say Israel thinks that they own the U.S.
All right. Anyway, fuck,
okay,
man.
We went all over.
Whoa, it was like 5 minutes ago. It was
China,
30 minutes
Israel
in.
is something that a lot of people are passionate about.
No, but after we were done with China, it was 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here's Doug's tweet.
Yeah,
Let's see how long it goes.
understand.
Fuck.
I mean, but I understand.
Wow, it's
when
like a flip book, you know.
It's like a whole printed out and it fits on a whole wall. It's like wallpaper.
And this one person whose name
United
is United
Korea
Korea says 100. Jeannie says 100. Fadi. What is that? A Lebanese flag? Is that Italian or Mexican? I don't know. I think Italian.
I think it's Italian.
Says W, I guess, for win. And our fucking internet. I swear the Wi-Fi here is just. Oh, and some Chinese person. I only know that one is Cha, right?
Cha.
Yeah, that's the only.
Charyong.
Oh, that's Yong, right?
I think it's 조자룡. You know 조자룡, right?
I don't know.
In the Three
Cha
Dynasty.
Yong.
Holy
three
cow.
Oh,
dynasty.
Lo Long.
You could even tell what that was from how small that
Well,
was.
I know this is a dragon, and that's like a
Yeah, 아들.
baby, right,
Son,
or something.
son.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know. I feel like Korean Americans, we need like a united front on Israel, like a united, one strong voice. It's just, I think, they've even infiltrated our own community with their money and, their artwork. And
Yeah, that's
all
what I
that.
was about to say. So they're really fast. They really move fast, even with... can we mention it, or you don't want to mention
Go ahead.
it? They're the KAFLA, Korean American Federation of Los Angeles. Israel General Consulate. They gave, I think, $45,000 or something, to make a mural. I don't know the price.
There's a big
price,
mural on the
yeah,
building.
there's a big mural.
What is it of?
in the building?
Just some Korean stuff.
Yeah, but you have the
at the
Israel
bottom left it says
alignment.
Israel,
Yeah,
from Israel.
but I think even make
Who's the
setting
artist?
up.
I don't know.
You read that article from The Intercept where there's going to be a pro-Palestine pact starting up. It's seems like a little bit late to the game, but
I think they realize, hey, it's not just about being right. You need money.
you need money.
No one's defaced that.
Exactly. You need money. I mean, that's just how it is,
Yeah, but
right? Isn't
look at all the Jewish money, and then where's the Palestinian money going to come from?
Isn't the anti-voice kind of bigger around the world?
Yeah, so you have a bunch of poor people who support Palestine, and you have a bunch of billionaires that support Israel.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at Forbes 400, it's amazing how I don't want to keep.
Yeah, but
on
there's
top-
more people around the world that are pro-Palestine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Those
Because they're
people
the
can
one
rally.
who's always being. The casualties are just. It's
I don't
insane.
know. Like
yeah.
even North and South Korea both can see that Palestine deserves, their freedom or whatever. And
Does South Korea officially say that? Because weren't they being wishy-washy for...
based on the UN votes for yes or no on.
Oh, okay.
The most recent vote, I think they voted for
Oh,
Palestine.
really?
Except
I missed
for,
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Finally.
Anyway, and
It's such a downer news,
Yeah.
regarding the Israel-Palestine situation.
and the crazy thing is, North Korean leader Kim Jong-il, he had a Palestinian foster daughter by the name of Jindale.
진달래.
There's a Palestinian influencer in China, and she's super huge. She was
Oh, is she?
adopted by Chinese parents.
Wait, not the Pakistani girl, the pretty one.
I read Palestinian.
Oh, there's one from Pakistan.
Oh, okay.
And she's really pretty, and then
Yeah, she was also pretty.
okay.
Now I'm questioning if I misread it.
yeah,
It could be from
she's big on social media too. The Pakistani girl, yeah.
You said Palestine, right?
I said Pakistan. She's Pakistani.
I said Palestinian.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, thanks guys for tuning in to this episode. We covered some China and Israel, and next episode we're gonna be here with Esther Lim.
Esther Lim.
Who is she?
She works for the George Gascon office, LA County District
Oh.
Attorney, DA, who's being challenged right now by Nathan Hockman. But she kind of specializes in the Asian issues,
Yep.
Anti-Asian hate crime
So
issues.
it's too bad Doug isn't
and
here.
Yongyang, I think she's going to talk about
Yeah,
Yongyang
she-
situation. So
she
she knows
also-
the ins and outs. of
Yeah,
it too
she's
as well.
also part of the LA District Attorney AAPI advisory
yes,
board.
advisory
Yeah.
board, exactly. And I think it's going to be interesting. I already talked with her very.
Right. So we'll be back with Esther Lim,
Esther Lim.
and I don't know. Maybe we can talk some about some stuff that we missed out on today, because there was a long list. Thanks, Ed, for coming on. We'll see you
Yeah,
on the
thanks
next
for having me.
episode.
Yep.
Thanks,
And
Ed.
I'll be
Michael,
here.
thanks for your alternative views. And
Thank you, Michael.
thank you, Rocco 1540, for just sitting quietly. And
Beep boop.
Doug, we miss you.
We do,
Really.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I was texting Doug something. He's like, "Oh, you missed me already." I'm like, "No, I'm just anyway." We'll see you next time, Doug.
All right, man, Doug. We'll see
All
you.
right. Goodbye, everyone.
Miss you.
She just sent him a dick pic.
Send it to Doug.
Yeah. She'd be like, "Oh, you missed me already, right?" I'd be like, "And send."
I will. No. The thing is, a lot of times when I text Doug, like after something, like just to ask his opinion on something, he's like, "Oh, you're missing me already." Like, he always assumes that I'm missing.
It's because he's lonely. It's because he's lonely.
Oh, is it?
We do like 30 seconds after.
Oh, so
you
it's like
son of a bitch.
it's like the what do you call it? The overtime.
Yeah, whatever.
Do it on mute. Put it on mute.
Overtime.
Doug, you know we're just kidding. We love you.
I didn't mean lonely as in like lonely. I just meant like he's lonely. I'm lonely. That's why I'm dating.